Welcome back to Stark Radio. This is part 2 of a special episode featuring Eric at the Disco, where we talk about everything fandom, MCU, and One Direction. Talking about Love on Tour, and with a very special breakdown of the One Direction albums to MCU characters. You want to stay until the end because it is hilarious. Enjoy part 2.
I've been so bad when it comes to like spoiling myself now for like Marvel stuff. I go on r/Marvel Studios spoilers like all the time now because I want to know everything that's happening.
I feel that. I was for so long one of those people that's like, I'm not listening to the leaks. Right? Like I was like, no way I'm listening to the leaks. And then I remember the day that Midnight Memories got leaked and I was like, I don't know who that girl was, but that is not who she is today. I am listening to these leaks. And since then, it's been a point of no return. If there's a leak out, I'm like, well, I must read it.
Yeah.
I have no other option.
I feel like as we get older, I feel like we care less and less about getting spoiled now. I don't know. I cared so much in high school and college about like not getting spoiled, but now I'm like, whatever.
It used to be about the experience. Like I want to have the experience that I was meant, like the artist meant for me to have. Now that, especially because I work in media and PR and I understand what it's like to build the experience, I'm like, that's a whole lot of like, that's not a thing. Like enjoy it the way you want to enjoy it. As long as money's being made off of it, nobody cares if you read the leaks or you don't.
Exactly. That's straight up. Like, sorry. It's always how it's been.
Yeah.
But if anything, I think it's also because, quarantine happened and there was like no movies and no TV shows for a while. And I was like, I just want to know.
Marvel really said, we're going to save 2021 and give you everything all of the time. Like, can you believe the quantity of things they're giving us this year?
Dare you say quantumania of things?
Good one.
Dare you say?
Dare I say? Dare I say?
It didn't even click to me that would really be happening this year until like towards the end of last year when I was like, okay, well, when is everything coming out? Okay, so everything is coming out like every month, actually.
Immediately. We are getting everything all of the time. And I really appreciate how generous they were, unlike Miss Taylor Swift, who just gives us no notice and then like bombs us with new things. Marvel is like, listen, here's a schedule. You have 7 weeks to recover, and then we're dropping the next thing on you. Okay, so like take that time, self-care, rewatch, get ready for the next thing, and then you can be emotionally ready to jump into what's next. Unlike when you're a Harry fan or a Taylor fan, it's like, oh no, I guess we're just in the trenches today with this new album or this new photo from set of Harry doing this.
Yeah,
like,
and that's all we get.
That's all we get.
We're done.
It's a hard life firsthand.
But man, see, and that's why I'm kind of glad we're in all these fandoms. Stuff is happening all the time, When all the Harry and One Direction stuff is going quiet, we're watching Loki, and like we're like watching whatever.
Dipping and diving. Can we have a moment of silence for Lord fans? A tragedy.
An absolute tragedy.
An absolute tragedy. Are you a Lord fan? You must be.
I was into Lord, like pure heroine, banger. Like, I just feel like that people kept. It's so weird because at the time when her second album came out, silence. Like it was crickets when that album came out. And now suddenly, all these years later, on Twitter and Instagram, people be like, "Oh my God, this album was a cultural reset. Like she changed the game with this album and everything." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" No one was really saying that when it came out. Like Greenlight was nowhere. Like Greenlight was amazing and should have been on the radio more, but like
it was not. And then she got snubbed at the Grammys that year.
Yeah.
And people were like, that was rude. And then that was kind of the end of it, right? If that album got snubbed in our year 2021, we would be like Stan Twitter would be full force, like locking arms with Barbs to get people banned, right?
Dare I say even more of a fire than when The Weeknd got snubbed? Maybe a little bit more.
I agree with you.
People completely. Were pissed. I'm pissed. The Weeknd.
I'm pissed, and I have the added layer of like Canadians getting clout. Like that's not a thing here, right?
Literally.
So when we have someone who is doing as well as The Weeknd, like when The Weeknd did the Super Bowl halftime show, all of Canada watched that. I'm convinced. And not even people that aren't even like music fans per se, because it was like, woo, woo, like that's one of ours. Look at him, look at him doing that. And then he did the show and people were like, I didn't understand any of that, but like I'm gonna support it anyway. So like we have to take our moments when we get them, and then for him to get snubbed, and that album's incredible. Yeah. He did, like, that's a cultural reset. Let's talk about like how he is ushering in this new era of disco pop alongside Miss Dua. Like
yes.
I'm angry.
Where is the Dua Weekend collab? Where?
I love Ariana and The Weeknd on Save Your Tears. I think it's great.
I was so happy.
It's so good. However,
so hyped about that.
I am shook that we got that before we got like a Dua collab. Mm-hmm. I was shook. I don't know. Maybe there's some beef between them. Maybe they're like, I don't know, but I would like it.
I want to know. But yeah, dude, The Weeknd, I love The Weeknd, dude. Like Starboy, that album came out like a little bit before I was turning 21, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. But like that was my like, we're going out to the clubs, we're going to the bars, we're listening to Party Monster, we're listening to Starboy, we're listening I Feel It Coming. We're going in on this whole album. Yeah. And man, After Hours even just set it above. Yeah. Like After Hours is so good. I listened to that whole album on a road trip the day.
Oh, that's so
out.
good.
I love that. To it the whole way. And I'm like, yep. One of the greatest artists of all time.
That's our shit up here.
Yes. Yeah. Have you? So I also have a Canadian friend. Her name's Tess. She loves.
Shout out to Tess. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
I've been getting to the Arkells. They're good.
Oh my God. You're about to get Canadian status for that. Did you know that if you listen to the Arkells enough times, they just give you dual citizenship?
Yeah. I think that you should. Yeah, like she showed me like, listen to this and this and this from the Arkells, and they're great. I would love to see them. They're phenomenal. Shout out Max. Sure. The Arkells are on TikTok. Max is slowly becoming a new TikTok king. So shout out to them. They're getting it. They got the spirit. They do some of the craziest live shows that you will ever see. Like they are like pure rock. Like wow.
Like I get goosebumps thinking about it. They are the kings. So good.
What was the last live concert you've been to?
So December before lockdown, I went to a artist called City and Color. I don't know if you would know.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
City and Color.
Yeah.
Yep. Coming
so
home.
He's Canadian.
Sweet Delaware. Like,
yep.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wait, there's still
okay. I'm so bestie vibes only today on the podcast. Yeah. He's my absolute king. I have a bunch of his records down there. He was my first like, when you decided you were a moody teenager and you went to like the CD store and you bought your moody albums, like I full on spent my first paycheck on City and Color CDs for my CD player. So I saw City and Color in December, and I always said like if there was one person that I could only see in concert for the rest of my life, it would be them. Dallas Green, because he had such an impact on me as a teenager and like in those formative years. So when lockdown happened, I was like, I really ate my words with that, because that was the last concert that I was going to see for such a long time. So I'm glad I kind of skated that in before everything got shut down. What was your last concert?
So I'm going to say like two. The one like this happened in like January, before March and everything, 2020. It was like a festival at the Forum.
Cool.
It was like this alt radio festival. This was the lineup.
Okay.
Billie Eilish, Coldplay, Blink 182, Rex Orange County.
Yep.
There's another, I'm forgetting the Lumineers. Trying to think, and there's like two others that I didn't really know, but it was crazy for like the first like 5, and I was like, man, I can't believe I saw Billie Eilish and Coldplay on the same night.
Same night,
yeah, and that was before she won her Grammy too, like when she swept that year. Like, it was awesome. And then right before that was the one night only Fine Line show at the Forum.
You won. You won.
I can't believe that I was even able to see that.
iconic. Where were you on the floor? Were you up in the stands?
No.
Again, paint the entire picture of this. What were you wearing? Who did you go with? Okay, go. I'll be quiet.
Yeah, yes. So Fine Line. Oh my God, it was such a hassle just to get tickets because I woke up early that morning and I was shocked because I was like, wait, why does this say like $5 or like $25? I was like, is this real? And then I clicked on the seats. I didn't even want to fight for the pit. I really didn't because I knew that was just gonna be a hassle. And I, as a 25-year-old now, I'm done with the pit. I'm done.
Amen. Amen.
Sit down, give me a beer. I'm chilling. I
want to be able to sit while I wait. I'm done.
So I just got these seats, kind of towards the back, little towards his back corner behind him because those were the only available closer to him. So I got those seats and I was like, wow, that cost $50. That's so weird. I don't know why it was so cheap. But yeah, went to it, took my friend Claire, and amazing night. As you know, I wasn't dressed up to the nines when I went to go see it, but I was wearing rings, necklace, to let everyone know I'm an ally.
You had the aesthetic going.
I'm an ally. I'm with the gang here.
Yeah. You were part of this community.
Yeah. And it was amazing. This has yet to be topped because I haven't really seen them enough concerts yet, but I think that Harry Styles show, that was the best encore I've ever seen. Ever.
And you got Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, oh my God.
Hello.
What the fuck? I wasn't, because I was so jealous of people seeing that earlier that year. Because they did a show together and they sang everything. And then she came out and I was like, what the hell, dude? I can't believe I'm seeing this in person right now. Yeah. But of course, he's saying What Makes You Beautiful, and he's saying Sign of the Times, and he's saying Wonderful Christmas Time, the Beatles, because it was during Christmas. And I was like, oh my God, Harry's singing Christmas music. Amazing. And he ends it on Kiwi, my favorite song. So I was like, let's go, dude. I was so hyped out of my mind. It was such a great concert. And I couldn't believe that would be the last time I'd see him for a while.
Right.
That sucked.
Well, none of us thought that was going to be the last Forum show. And there's so much. I mean, I'm literally on the direct opposite side of the continent from the Forum. But even I was like, when lockdown happened, was like, if I had known, I would have fought for a ticket and I would have just made a point to be there, even if I was in the nosebleeds, because that show just became more special when it became clear that might be the only show that he ever done like that.
Do you have tickets for this year?
I do. I'm holding on to them. I'm like you. I cannot fight for the pit anymore unless I buy some insoles for my speakers so that my knees don't give out on me. I gotta have a chair. From Montreal, I have tickets for the lower bowl, and then some friends of mine, we all bought tickets in the same section, stacked on top of each other.
Good.
So if and when my fingers are crossed, I don't care what I've made a decision that if and when that tour does happen, I don't care what my financial situation is. Unfortunately, I don't care what's going on in my life. I'm going to be there. There's no other option for me.
Literally, I got 2 nights.
Beautiful.
I'm bad.
I know, as you should. And also, are you in LA?
Yeah, I'm in Westminster, which is just 30 minutes from LA. So
amazing. So it's so easy for you to get multiple nights and kind of plan out shows like this because you're there.
I'm so
why
excited.
Not?
Because I have to make up for not being able to see One Direction back in the early days. And it's so funny because people are like, well, you didn't see One Direction in concert? Why didn't you go to a concert? I was in high school and I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. I couldn't pay for that. Of course. I didn't see a concert literally all 4 years of high school. Because I was like, I don't work. I don't have a job. I'm supposed to do this. So
So you're catching up now, which is beautiful. We stand. So yes, 2 nights of tickets for Harry Styles.
Yes.
So are they both in LA?
Yeah, both in LA, both at the Forum again. Very excited. Also, I had Niall Horan tickets and then it got canceled.
Can we talk about, if I move my camera up, you'll see my signed Lewis Capaldi hanging out up here. The way that Lewis Capaldi is my entire life hurts so bad for that Nile tour.
I love them. I love them together. They're so funny. Yeah. I can't believe like Lewis Capaldi has just became such like an icon in the One Direction fandom already. Like,
right.
He's very hand in hand with Niall, I think. And I still hope they go on tour together still.
Yeah, I completely agree. At the beginning of lockdown, this is like when people ask me how I was at the beginning of lockdown, this is the story I tell. I was having stress dreams about the Lewis Capaldi Nile concert. And every single dream, the same thing would happen. Lewis was on stage, and it would always be a different group of friends I was with in the dream that were making me late for the show, and I would miss Lewis's set. For weeks, I had this dream, Eric, and then the show got canceled, and I was like, well, I guess I can stop having that because the show isn't
I guess you can sleep okay now. Like,
yeah,
dude, yeah, like I'm so upset about that, and I might have to. I think Louis is still doing his tour, right, this year or next year. I don't know.
Seems
I
like
might have to get tickets for him too, because
yeah, honestly, I feel like my threshold of like, you know, before I'd be like, I could go without seeing this concert. I know, like, I'll be okay. Now I'm like, oh no, like, give me a ticket and I'm gonna be there. Like, there's no other option.
Straight up, like, I want to see everybody. Like, I still have my weekend tickets. That it got postponed like 2 years ahead, so I'm seeing him next year for his after hours tour. You know, like I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope that live concerts will come back this year, and we're gonna live it up. And you know, I'll have great TikTok content for that.
Amen. Sure. Honestly, thinking about I keep thinking I need to film a video of I bought so many outfits for concerts that are still just sitting in my closet because there have not been concerts, and I'm like, oh, this is so much money I could have saved if I just returned them. But if I return them, then I'm like, that is literally killing the hope that I will ever be able to wear them. Right. Dude. So I feel like if I hold on to them.
Do you still have? Wait, have you already found an outfit for Love on Tour?
Yes. Yes.
Dude.
Yes. And when I tell you it is a serve, and it's okay, so I didn't go with a lot of people are doing outfits that either are directly inspired by something Harry's worn or directly inspired by a song. I did not go any of those directions. I found a fit that was Chef's Kiss Harry inspired. So but I need new pants for it, I've decided. So I mean we're still trying to figure it out. But yeah, I'm ready for Love on Tour. It sounds like you're still figuring it out.
I am. Because you know what? I can't figure out the pants. I think the pants is the hardest part for Harry stans. Well,
I think that now I know what I'm gonna do. I feel like the policeman outfit is the only option here.
I think so, right? Or what's crazy is maybe if there's an Eternals trailer that pops up before the show and he's in it, that might be the fit. I don't know.
That might be the fit. I would love to see it, especially if he's able to I think about Captain Marvel's outfit and how she glows.
Yeah.
I could get some neon things and stick them on me and make me feel like I'm a god as well. And then that'd be very helpful for Harry seeing me in the crowd, this weird glow stick girl way up in the nose. He's having a great time. Mm-hmm. There's strategy there. But yeah, I think that in combo with the policeman pants and also these very practical shoes.
Yes.
Love on Tour vibes.
These photos have me dying straight up. I'm so excited. But I guess a little bit off topic, but if you were to see any of the future Marvel movies that were in that video the other day, right now, what is it?
What one would I pick? Simu Liu is Canadian. I have been a fan of his.
Yes, he is.
Forever. He has had a fan in me. And when he was announced at Comic-Con, a memory burned in my mind of him standing on the stage when I got that notification to my phone. I was like, there's no. I get chills thinking about it. No, it's not, there's no way it's happening. So yes, I want to see that movie immediately. I also want him on the podcast immediately because I have years worth of questions to ask him. So that's my pick.
There all the time. You could probably just spam the shit out of that.
Right? Okay, here's what I'm going to cut this episode. I'm going to send it to him and be like, listen, you gotta come talk about this with me. And other things like his show Kim's Convenience, and there's drama around how that ended. He's talked in the past about starting his own production company. I want to know what's going on with that. He does a lot of charity work that I think we could promo via the podcast. So yes, Simu, this is your open invitation. Anytime, any day. We'll cancel my life. Yeah, good. It'll happen. Good. What about you? What's your pick?
I get, the bias is Spider-Man. That's the bias because one, I don't know shit about that movie, and I'm so confused about all the casting, and I just want to know what's happening. What is it, a Spider-Verse movie or not? Blah blah blah. But if I were not to choose a bias, wow, the way WandaVision got me so hyped for Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is probably like the least, like one of the lower tier movies I was excited for. But after WandaVision, I'm like,
what is happening?
What the fuck is going on with our girl? Very excited for that duo. That's going to be so interesting. It's under a year now. We're going to see it in under a year. Crazy to think about. So I'm excited.
And if the past year was any indication of how quick and slow time can go, I feel like it'll be here before we know it.
And it helps because they're releasing something every month. So
exactly.
We're busy. We're straight up
time
busy.
Will go quickly.
Yeah.
So the next thing coming out is Loki on Disney Plus. What is your one prediction for the show? Do you have one thing that you're really hoping to see or anything for the show that you're excited about?
God, it's so funny because I'm usually pretty good at that when it came to the other shows coming out. Loki, dude. Loki is the Doctor Who show I've been waiting for. It is going to be straight up those vibes. And if I was to predict anything, I would probably say that we're going to see Thor show up somewhere. I'm not going to say Thor current timeline post Endgame. We're probably going to see a different kind of version of Thor. Because that'd be kind of weird for him not to show up, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's got some personal shit to unpack. Thor, I think that's a very good prediction.
Yeah, they're a duo.
I am hoping that we're going to get a Loki love interest finally, because we never really had that, other than the amazing editors on TikTok that make me, YN, the protagonist of every Loki storyline. But I want a physical actor person to be a love interest for Loki.
Other prediction, Loki will make a TikTok. Loki will create TikTok in the show. Straight up.
Loki is the CEO of the company.
Facts.
This is entirely his fault. Yeah. So we'll revisit this in a few weeks when Loki does come out, and we'll see if we were right.
Awesome.
So I want to play a game. I'm going to grab my One Direction albums here.
Okay, do it.
And our podcast today.
Yes.
I want to go through the One Direction albums, and I would like to assign each album to a Marvel character.
Okay.
Are you down?
All right, bet.
All right.
Okay, should we do every single one, or do you want to do the original 6 Avengers?
Okay, so I think we can do both. Let's do the original Avengers, and then we can really take liberty here.
Okay.
So the first album we have Up All Night.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts before I give you my pick?
Up All Night. Up All Night is fun. It's very early 2010s, It's stuck in that time period. Very electro pop, Someone who would fit that vibe. Loki, right?
Yeah, I think Loki's a great choice for it. And I feel like the added layer of Up All Night, it's so angsty, right?
Yeah.
You have songs like Taken, I Want, even something like Stole My Heart is angsty, so Loki fits that. I also get Bruce Banner vibes from Up All Night.
True.
Talk about an angsty character. He's got Hulk inside of him at all times.
I will say, I also think Thor, the song Another World, fit Thor. You lift me up, as in the hammer.
Him and the hammer.
And then he spins it, and then you go to another world through the Bifrost,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Straight up.
Okay, so let's go back to Loki for a second. You have a song like Stand Up, where the whole bridge is I'm a thief, you can call me a thief. So I think your Loki pick is very accurate for this one.
Let's go.
Okay, next we have Take Me Home, an iconic album. Let's just take a moment and for its time, there was nothing better than this.
There was nothing like literally.
Nope.
That's what got me into One Direction was that album. Like it was perfection. I'm gonna say with
2012 vibes. Who hits it for you?
Who hits 2012 vibes? Well, funny enough, Loki, straight up, actually.
Yeah.
Also.
So we have Kiss You, Live While We're Young, Last First Kiss, Heart Attack, Rock Me. Come on.
I'm gonna have to give that to Mr. Peter Parker. Because I think Peter Parker would be listening to that album when he was like young, like going to school, just going on his like little iPod and everything. I feel like he'd be listening to that song a lot.
And you have Summer Love and then the Far From Home plot. Like, that took place like a summer adventure with Miss MJ Zendaya. So, I think that very much matches.
Right. And with Peter Parker, like, I want to assume that Peter Parker was like us when we were younger and we were like, YOLO. Like, let's live in the moment. Let's be free, be happy. I feel like he probably loved Live While We're Young. Even though Peter Parker was like 14, probably 13, listening to that song. He's like,
swinging through the streets of New York, being like, we're going to do this while we're young and like have a good time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm going to have to sign that to him.
Yep. And I also would say that like some of the lyrics are very juvenile in that album. And like he is the one that would like, really think that was poetry and 100%. Art. So, So we get Peter Parker for Take Me Home. Midnight Memories. Here it is.
This is the easiest one, actually.
Okay.
Because this is a rock album. Very like rock inspired. Like a lot of songs are inspired from rock songs. Like Pour Some Sugar is Midnight Memories. This is straight up Iron Man.
That's exactly what I thought too. This is an Iron Man album.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially with, thinking about a song like Little White Lies and him calling people out constantly. Like that's his whole shtick.
Yes.
Right? So he would hear this album and be like, yeah, absolutely. Let's call people out for what they are.
I agree. Yep.
Half a Heart. That's a Tony Stark anthem.
Yeah. Yep.
He doesn't have a heart.
He'd be listening to Alive while he's like working on his suit, and Jarvis is playing it over the radio and everything. Like he'd be straight up in that album. He
would have like a short command for Jarvis playing Midnight Memories. He would have like some kind of movement or like a snap of his fingers, and then you just get Night Memories full volume.
Maybe
that
he just
does the approach.
Maybe he does like a Nile jump from his tours, from the Doors. Maybe he just does a good Nile jump, and then boom.
And then 100%. It's canon.
Yep.
All right, 4.
Man,
this is a tough one. Yeah,
because like 4 is very much like it takes everything from the rock aspect of Midnight Memories, which just makes it even better somehow, and adds some good pop into it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, but Steal My Girl.
Yeah, Change Your Ticket, Illusion, Act My Age. That song alone is
like right.
Yeah.
You know what? Captain America.
Yeah, big Captain America vibes. I agree.
Steve Rogers vibes. Because I've always kind of associated Niall Horan with like Steve Rogers. I feel like Steve Rogers would listen to Heartbreak Weather, the album, and Flicker. Steve Rogers
the way that I was prepared to talk about this, I have it ready. Look, Flicker, Heartbreak Weather, done. Captain America album.
Yeah. Because this town is Steve Rogers as fuck, straight up.
The flicker of hope that you first gave to me, that is about Peggy. Niall Horan sat down and said, let's write a song about Peggy Carter now.
Thank you.
Yep.
And when I think of 4, I think 4 is Niall's album. That's where Niall really shines. So if that were the case, Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would also add Wanda to the conversation because we have Stockholm Syndrome. She definitely had a bit of that in Age of Ultron. We have Ready to Run. I mean, the girl ran multiple times.
She did.
Like, she really said, let me show you how to run. Girl Almighty, that song makes no sense, but I mean, it's a girly pop anthem, so Miss Wanda, no control.
I don't understand Girl Almighty, but I also don't understand, like, Wanda's powers, so it's kind of like...
T.
All, it all mixes into one.
T. Yeah, so Wanda, a great choice as well. Captain America. Yes. Again, let's just take a moment for what an iconic album. What an iconic album. Like, we can't go to Made in the AM before we just really make sure that people know this album is it.
Give us a pause. Like, we love it.
Give us a moment of silence for how great 4 is. Thank you. All right, listeners. Made in the AM. We have to recognize the lack of Zayn in this album.
Lack of Zayn. So this would be like a post-Civil War character,
Oh, okay. I like that.
The split happened already. And this is a very emo.
It's Bucky. For me, this is a Bucky Barnes album. Post-Civil War Bucky when he's trying to piece his life back together.
Yeah. Yeah. They call him... What do they call Bucky? The Wakandans call him?
White Wolf. And we have wolves on the album. I mean, we've done it.
I think we cracked the code, actually.
This is the Bucky Barnes album. We've done it. Okay, I want to walk song by song through this album because I think that One Direction wrote this album about Bucky Barnes. Conspiracy theory. We have Angel. I mean, Steve thought Bucky was dead for so long. And then he came back to life. Like, oh, you're an angel. Like, there's no way you're really here.
Yeah.
And then Drag Me Down. He fell off a train.
Literally fell off a train, was dragged into Hydra after he lost his arm. Like, it happened.
Yep. But then he came back as if to say, Hydra can't drag me down.
Straight up.
So, straight up.
Okay.
Perfect. I mean, he's perfect. Yep. I love Bucky Barnes.
He is perfect. There's literally zero flaws with this mass murderer. We love him.
None to be found on the podcast. We will not tolerate any Bucky Barnes slander on the pod.
None.
Zero. None. Zero. Okay. Infinity.
Oh, because he's fucking old. He can live forever.
Amen. Yes.
To infinity right now.
He's quite literally, if you look up the definition of infinity, it's just a photo of him.
Facts.
That's it. End of the day. I mean, I don't know if you're a Stucky stan, but if you are, there it is. There it is. Some Steve Rogers, Bucky conspiracy. And end of the day, Steve's the only one who wants.
I agree wholeheartedly.
If I could fly, I'd be coming right back home to you. I mean,
Ducky.
that's some Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, if Sam Wilson could fly home to Bucky, or if Sam Wilson could fly Bucky home to Sarah, if that's more the Wilson pairing of
Get
choice.
That sister up in there, yes.
Yep, absolutely. We have Long Way Down. Again, he fell off a train.
He fell off a train. It was very long.
Done.
Way down.
A very long way down.
Come on.
I have to re-listen to that song now and just think about that particular scenario. I think this is a solid conspiracy.
Yeah,
Then you have Never Enough Bucky.
Never enough Bucky. We need more.
We need more.
Yeah.
We just got a full show and it was never enough. We need season 2.
Literally need it. What's next?
Olivia.
Change it to Sarah.
Change it to...
Is Olivia a place? Is it a person? Is it an emotion?
Is it a boat?
We don't know.
Nope. What a feeling. I mean...
that's just Bucky's vibe, all day. That's Bucky's vibes when he's working on the boat and he's hanging out with, like, Sam's family,
Yeah. Yeah, and he's realizing that he can have a family. Oh, what a feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love You, Goodbye.
To Steve. Fuck.
He cries. I'm gonna have to go cry over this after we're done. I mean, he literally said, I'll let you go back to Peggy and live your entire life without me after you spent every single movie trying to find me.
Oh my God. The Russo brothers loved this album when it came out.
They sat down with
Barnes.
this and said, what character can we develop based off of this album alone?
Give
and they said, you know what? They said, if any man can do it, it's Sebastian Stan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, then we've already talked about Wolves. You have History, AM, I Want to Write You a Song.
Literally. Like, History, he was in World War II. Come on. Like,
he's literally history. He also caused a lot of history with the people he killed.
Yeah, went throughout history and killed everybody, basically.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah.
And then the last song I think we need to discuss in this is Temporary Fix.
Oh, you know, like
if any song was written about Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, but then you say Jologne, and then suddenly it's like all gone, and it's going to hell.
Yep.
Wow.
It could also be related to the new arm from Wakanda, like a temporary fix, and then they come and show him that they can take it off. It's like, oh shit, it was a permanent fix. A literal temporary fix.
Damn, his whole life is a temporary fix. I love that.
That is a statement. Bucky Barnes' entire life is a temporary fix.
Yep, straight up.
This might be my new favorite album based off of this analysis alone.
Honestly, I need more Made in the AM Bucky edits.
All right, this is for all the editors on TikTok. Please give us what we need. There is a girl, her name is A Ghostly Scene, and she does those Spotify edits where it's like the Spotify cover is all the clips from videos. And she does an amazing job with Taylor Swift to Bucky Barnes edits. So I'm going to send this to her and be like, listen, do I have a conspiracy for you to build content?
Literally. Do we have an album for you?
Do we have an album for you?
Wow.
Wow.
So we did. Yeah, let's recap.
Let's recap. So we've done the One Direction albums. We've also decided that the Nile albums, Heartbreak Weather, and Flicker are Captain America albums. Let's quickly go through the rest of the solo albums. Let's do them by person, like we did with Nile's albums. So we have Self-Titled and Fine Line.
So Self-Titled, I'll say it again, even though he already has this album. Like, Iron Man is straight up a self-titled album.
Oh, 100%.
I've always wanted to make this. I was thinking of making it on TikTok, or maybe someone else can do it. But imagine like the opening of Iron Man when it's just like, you know, the army jeeps passing, but instead of Back in Black, it's Kiwi.
I knew where you were going as soon as you said the opening of Iron Man. I heard it in my head.
Yeah. Like, imagine Kiwi starting off the opening of Iron Man. Like, that fits perfect.
We need that edited. Are you going to make that? Are you going to make that?
I just might. Like, I
think you should.
For a while.
You know that trend that's like, what scene from a movie would be made better if the song was different? That's the trend. Go hop on that with that Kiwi switch. Yeah. I would say that Fine Line could also be an Iron Man like pick. I mean, some Pepper Potts energy in there, Sunflower Volume 6 and shit.
Because
the Cherry voicemail, he's always leaving voicemails for Pepper in that helmet. Like,
thank you. Yes. And with the song Golden, you know, Harry wrote that because he was inspired by Malibu, driving down the PCH and everything. And Malibu is where Tony lived for 3 movies.
Harry Styles drove past the place where they built the Tony Stark house and said, aha, a song can be made.
Harry Styles lives there now.
Harry Styles is Iron Man. Harry Styles is Iron Man. Conspiracy confirmed.
Never seen Iron Man and Harry Styles in the same room.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Confirmed Iron Man, Harry Styles. It's there. Beautiful.
So straight up both Iron Man.
Yeah. Let's move on to Walls. Some Louis energy. This is a tough one for me.
That's a tough one for me too. Like, I like the album, but you know, unfortunately not as much as the other ones. But
I would agree. I think if we focus on the energy of a song like Kill My Mind, I feel Bucky. I feel some Bucky in that.
Yeah.
The angst, the heartache.
So the lyrics: raise my body back to life. Who's been dead and then's come back all of a sudden? Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Doctor Strange died a lot.
Doctor Strange. He did die a lot. I was also going to say Vision.
Okay,
Because
yes.
like the body of Vision died very dramatically, and when we saw in WandaVision, the body kind of dismembered.
Yeah.
So,
And he
but
had
I
the
like
Mind
Doctor
Stone,
Strange.
and they killed him.
They killed his body.
I think, yeah, Walls is a Vision album.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say
and
it.
Louis Tomlinson is a visionary.
Yep.
So,
thank you.
Have you ever seen Vision and Louis Tomlinson in the same place?
Vision can turn into basically anyone, right? Like, I don't know. He can like do whatever. So why not? Yeah.
Why not?
I'm gonna say
Done.
Louis.
Yeah. All right. Liam Payne won.
See, Liam Payne's great because that's just like, dancing and going to the clubs. Yeah, literally getting down, strip that down for me.
Yeah. Like Zemo in the club.
Thank you. I was just gonna say, like, who just went to a club recently in like Marvel and Zemo.
He's the one.
That's straight up. I think Zemo would love Liam Payne.
Zemo would fuck with Liam Payne one.
Facts. 100%. I want to see Liam Payne and DJ Zemo on a track.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
That is a solid choice. LP1.
That's a solid one. All right. We love it. Now we have the last picks, which are Zayn's iconic albums, Mind of Mine, Icarus Falls, and Nobody Is Listening. Can we talk? Nobody Is Listening is such an underrated album. That album is so good to me.
I can't believe it didn't pop off nearly as much as it should. Like, Sweat should have been everywhere. I should have heard Sweat all over the airwaves and everything. Like, that song's amazing.
Yep.
But also three very different albums when you look into it. Like, Mind of Mine is very much party. Like, it's very much get down and like going to the clubs, trap beat, and everything. Icarus Falls, long, but also like very like personal.
Yep.
And then Nobody's Listening is probably like, I always compare Nobody's Listening to Fine Line because that's his like artsiest he's been musically.
I would say let's do them separately. I think you're right. You can't really group these together.
Yeah.
When I think of Mind of Mine, I mean it's tough.
So who's the playboy or the playgirl of the Marvel Cinematic?
Right.
Like,
and I don't want to say Iron Man because that's like an obvious choice, right?
You know what? People are not gonna like this, but it might have to be Star-Lord. He was a player before he.
Yep, that is a solid choice.
Yeah.
Yep. I think Star-Lord.
Yeah, Star-Lord would like Pillow Talk, I think.
Oh yeah.
Straight up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Would. Absolutely, he would. Yeah. Okay, so Star-Lord for Mind of Mine.
Yep.
Icarus Falls.
See, yeah, that's tough because I love Let Me. Let Me's a great song on there.
Yeah, bop. This has to be someone that's got a lot of like yearning and angst in them. Like I think of Hawkeye when I think of an album like this. He's like an angsty guy that's got like the second something goes wrong, he's like, oh, I have to go be in my feelings and like murder a bunch of people all over the world.
And I remember a lot of like the music videos for Icarus Falls were just like kind of Winter Soldiery action, like like person on person fighting. Like Zayn wanted to be like an action star for a little bit, and I love that.
Did. Yep.
Yeah, I would go with Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye is a good fit for that. Maybe even Hawkeye and Black Widow, both of them.
Oh, that's the duo.
Yeah, the duo.
All right, and then we have Nobody Is Listening.
Who do we not listen to in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Ant-Man. Scott Lang, he's never listened to any of the time. He literally is the reason why Endgame could happen, and yet nobody would listen to him the entirety of the film.
Imagine Paul Rudd listening to Sweat and Unfuckwittable and Windowsill. Yeah. I think that'd just be fun. Be funny.
I'd like to see it. Yeah. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Ant-Man and Hope like shrinking in size and then like, having their big action sequences to sweat. I would like to see it.
They're sweating and like they can literally run on windowsills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's possible.
All right. So let's recap all of the choices that we make. This has really been a special journey.
It has.
We have Up All Night.
Yeah.
There was some Hulk energy, some Loki energy in there.
Yeah.
We have Take Me Home.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. This is the Peter Parker album.
Yes.
Midnight Memories. Definitive
Iron Man, straight up.
100%. 4.
Captain America.
The Captain America album.
Yep.
Made in the AM. I mean,
oh my god,
confirmed.
Deep dive into that. Like, everyone needs to like take a class on how Bucky Barnes is made in the AM. Straight up.
Yep. That's another angle we didn't explore. It's like if they found him in the morning, then he could have quite literally been made in the AM.
Really make him in the morning?
Conspiracy confirms it, I think, for the sake of the conversation. We'll say yes.
Yes.
That's a Bucky Barnes album. And then
Absolutely.
Harry Styles, Fine Line. Again, we said Iron Man.
Mr. Tony Stark. It has to be.
We've never seen.
Fine Line could be him dying. Fuck.
How dare you? How dare you say that?
Straight up.
Too much. And again, just reiterating that we've never seen Harry Styles and Iron Man in the same room.
Everyone needs to take a note of that, actually.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Write it down. Flicker and Heartbreak Weather, Steve Rogers. 10,000%.
Yep. No competition.
Walls.
Who do we say for Walls?
Who did we say for Walls?
Vision. We said Vision.
Right? Yes, because of the Mind Stone. Yes. Liam Payne 1. Zemo in the Club and Madripoor. Boppin'. Imagine being in confinement for as long as he was and choosing Liam Payne 1 as the first album you listen to and you come out.
Right.
A bold choice for a bold man.
Yes.
And then finally the Zayn albums. Mind of Mine.
Yeah, you said Star-Lord,
the Fuckboy album. Yep. Mm-hmm. Icarus Falls. We said
both Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Yep. And Nobody Is Listening.
Ant-Man,
Paul Rudd. Nobody listens to that man. But hopefully people will listen to this whole episode. And thank you again, Eric, for contributing your expertise, your love of fandom. You're iconic. I can't wait. I hope that we bring you back to the pod very soon and we can, maybe when we get some updates on what Harry Styles is up to, we can come back and debrief. And hopefully next time we'll have more flattering photos than the policeman costume to talk about and dive into. Eric, where can people find you if they want to continue the deep dive?
And on TikTok at Erica the Disco. I love this show. Thank you so much for having me. This was
Thank you for
amazing.
being here. You're so iconic, and
great.
To have you here is a dream. So the last question I'll ask you, which everyone on the pod gets to request a song for Stark Radio. So what song would you like to request?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Stark Radio. We'll be back next week with another interview with one of our favorite Marvel creators. And we'll see you Wednesday for another very special news edition of Stark Radio live on TikTok.